Jeremiah chapter 10. Like I've said, this is that kind of parentheses in Jeremiah a couple of years before the first deportation in 605 from Babylon. So we're about to the end of that, and then it's gonna go back to being more chronological. Okay, so we're at that point, and God says to Jeremiah, He says, "Hear the word of the Lord, which the Lord speaks to you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord." So these are God's words, and if you have the notes in front of you, my comment there is the first 16 verses of Jeremiah 10 are a parentheses within a parentheses. Okay, so it's one of those things where you have the parentheses on your typewriter, and then there's a little squiggly thing that you do a parentheses within a parentheses, if you can follow that example. So this is a parentheses within a parentheses. The first 16 verses are parenthetical in Jeremiah's prophecies. Jeremiah is going to he's taking kind of an excursion, maybe 2 years before the Babylonians come. This may be written in 607 or 608. Josiah is dead in 609. A bad king is on the throne that the Egyptians put there to be kind of a Quisling, a Benedict Arnold, to favor them, so the Babylonians would have the Egyptians would have a buffer state against the Babylonians, like a speed bump. It's always bad when your nation is the speed bump. That's not a good thing. And they were a speed bump, and they didn't have to be a speed bump because the Babylonians would have, they could have surrendered to the Babylonians. But they didn't want to do that. And so Jeremiah is going through the word of the Lord, take an excursion and talk about how great God is and how fake their gods are. Okay? This is great for us today. Because honestly, we live in a culture that is changing over the last 50 or 60 years from a Christian Judaic culture